What's happening? DMA here with another God of War Ragnarok no upgrade run Berserker challenge. Welcome to the 6th video in this series I'm calling the Basic Berserker Blueprints. Haklangr will be our companion today, and we are continuing down our list of Berserkers in order of difficulty. Now, right off the bat, we're encountering a unique mechanic that differs from any other Berserker, and it's the elemental barrier. If you're seasoned in video game methods, you probably understand that this barrier is fire-based. We happen to have a nice ice axe, so let's put that to good use and get rid of that barrier. Okay? Before I go into Hak's behaviors and strategies, I'll explain the rules of this no upgrade run again. No upgrades to Kratos' or Freya's weapons, shields, armors, runics, relics, skills, Spartan Rage, or anything that requires experience points or expands health and rage bars. No accessories allowed for Kratos or Freya. The Talisman of Mange relic and Winter's Bite runic are free to use since they were forced into my arsenal. Dark Odyssey armor pieces and accessories will only be equipped since they have no perks or stat boosting attributes. The Dauntless Shield is the weakest shield and is the only one I will equip. Resurrection Stones are allowed. If anything affects stats and makes the player stronger, it doesn't have a place here unless it's forced into my arsenal in the game. Now, going back to Haklangr's barrier, we have 3 different elemental barriers, and they are visualized as 3 different colors that rest over his health bar. There's the fire barrier we just saw, an ice barrier, and a white elemental barrier bar, something like that. It stands to reason that when you see a fire barrier, you use your ice weapon and vice versa. The third element, which we won't witness in this video, he never bothered to use it. The third element is displayed over his health bar with a white bar. You will need the spear to maximize your damage against the white barrier. With the spear being a wind element, I would have thought another color could be used for it, but just know that when you see white, grab the spear. So on to the attacks. Haklangr's offensive vocabulary is slightly unique from the previous Berserkers in that he has no normal combo attacks. They're all either yellow or red attacks. Any blockable attacks will show up in one particular yellow combo, and that's the spinning attack. The first swing will be a yellow attack, followed by 2 regular attacks, and ends with a red attack. I tend to roll away from the first yellow hit. For whatever reason, I had a difficult time getting the timing of that parry locked in. If you can manage it, go ahead and parry it, add to the stagger meter. It's a good idea to do that if you can. Next is a yellow lunge attack. It's a pretty quick little poke, but fairly easy to parry. And the last yellow attack, it's the aerial dash attack. We've seen it several times from other Berserker fights, so it's nothing out of the ordinary with these other attacks. The unblockable red attacks. Okay, there are 3 red attacks. The first is a leaping attack. A well-timed side step will keep you safe from that one. It's easy enough to deal with. Next is the green aura explosion. When you see the green color tint on the ground, you have several options to deal with it. If you have Winter's Bite ready, you can use it to knock him out of the charging animation. I never have the Leviathan axe equipped in this fight outside of chipping off of his fire barrier. If you have a charged shield bash, you can use that to knock him out of the animation. My dumbass tends to forget if I have a charged shield bash ready to use, so I don't depend on that strategy. All it takes is 1 week, you know, dainty shield slap. You know, you go up to him and just kind of slap him around with one of those. Take that, you big meanie. You know, one of those things. You know, it takes one of those to drill it in my head that that's not a good strategy for me. At least for me personally. If you want to go ahead and keep your shield bash count charge in check, you know, go ahead, have at it. What I tend to do, as you probably have noticed, is I roll away from the area. It takes 2 rolls to get out of the area of effect, but I keep 2 details in mind when I'm rolling away. When I'm able to get out of the area, I need to quickly toss spears at Haklangr to keep his stagger meter up. Survival takes priority, but I don't want my efforts to go to waste. I want to keep that meter going, but when I'm rolling, I need to be aware of my position of the area. If I am backed up against the wall, I'm not going to adjust my rolling method. I'm going to use Spartan Rage to knock him out of the animation. But if you need to use it to recover, be aware of where you're at with your rage meter. The Fury Rage can only be activated if the bar is full. If it isn't, you can quickly pull up your menu and switch to Wrath if you have half a bar left for that one. If you're quick and aware of your rage situation, you might can do that. If you can pull the recovery off with Fury, engaging and disengaging will eat up a touch of your rage. So sneak in as much damage as you can quickly to build that safety net back up. And you know, like all situations with Berserkers, I prefer to use Spartan Rage as a recovery method and not for offensive purposes. The damage dealt with Rage is not worth it, in my opinion. And for the last red attack, there is the chained 2 overhead hammer smash combo. This comes in a variety of different combos. There's the 2 red overhead attack combo, the yellow lunge, and the red overhead attack combo, or the red overhead attack and the yellow lunge combo. With the overhead smash, a sidestep or roll to the side works well and gives you enough time to get in another sidestep, roll, or parry, depending on which variants Haklangr decides on. When he dips below half health, he will enter his second phase and it will impact 2 of his attacks. The first one is what we were just talking about, the 4 overhead hammer smash combo. Instead of chaining 2 attacks, he could chain up to 4 attacks in any order he wants to. If he decides to cancel out of the chain, he can do so by doing a dash retreat, and he will follow it up with a red leap attack. Give it the sidestep, and you're good to go. The other attack that gets the expansion treatment in the second phase is the spinning attack. Instead of 4 hits, we see a 6-hit spin. The expanded spinning attack still starts with a yellow swing and still ends with a red attack. The middle 4 swings are regular blockable attacks. Personally, I count in my head how many of the swings I parry, because if the last blockable attack is successfully parried, I can immediately do a shield bash, and half the time, I can knock him out of the red attack animation in either of the 4 or 6 swing instances. If I don't knock him out of the animation, I roll as quickly as I can and avoid damage. Or death, rather. Like with Basic, the Berserker I fought prior to this one, I managed to get a good grasp on Haklangr and defeated him on my first day of play. To have Basic and Haklangr done in 2 days was pretty nice. Having spent days and weeks figuring out how to deal with 2 other Berserkers was a drain, but the methods and strategies started to pay off until I got to the other last 3 Berserkers, but we'll talk about that in the next video. I don't think I have much else to add to commentary. I'm close to finishing off this Berserker, and I'll do my rundown of menus and showing my lack of upgrades and skills and verification of difficulty. I'll go ahead and step away from commentary. But if you will, join me next week for the 7th iteration of Basic Berserker Blueprints, where I take a stroll in Svartalfheim and battle the Berserker duo, Bodvar and Starolaf. We'll see ya.
He's not really a king. Just called himself one because he killed the previous king.
Someone you knew.
Aldis. A kind man. A trusting man.
He trusted this usurper. This Rolf.
No. Aldis trusted me. And, fool that I am, I trusted Rolf.
So now you seek revenge. A dangerous path.
You're one to talk.
I am an authority on the subject. You would do well to listen.